So here's what we got. L'Homme Eau de Parfum by Yves Saint Laurent, the newest addition to the ever-expanding L'Homme line. I mean, this is really where it started, L'Homme, and we've spawned tons and tons of flankers here. We've also got La Nuit de L'Homme, tons and tons of flankers there, and I would be expecting a new La Nuit de L'Homme because they already discontinued Bleu Electrique, which was their newest. That was a real quick turnaround, didn't even make it a couple months, it seems like, so we'll be hopefully expecting something new there. But anyway, it's L'Homme EDP. You know, for me, L'Homme, the original L'Homme, is one that's very special to me. I've got a couple bottles. This is my ridiculously 200 milliliter size bottle, and you've heard the story on the channel. One of my kind of first fragrances to some extent, within the first 10 or so, I believe. And smells like an apple orchard to me, smells like a gentleman, smells like fall. We'll go and do a spray. I mean, it's a fragrance that just makes me happy, right? One that I always will kind of have in my collection, one that I always will cherish, and one that I always will stand behind, even though we have tons and tons of flankers, even though we have a lot of other amazing fragrances out there on the market these days. The original L'Homme still has me. So I'm excited to check out L'Homme EDP. Is it going to be similar to this but stronger performing? I would love that. Somehow I doubt it, but we'll have to see. You know, we all know the original L'Homme isn't a beast mode scent, frankly never was. So if they stuck with this DNA and pumped it up, that would be amazing. I've got the note breakdown here on Parfumo. Let's crack into this one and we'll see what it's about. Okay, so it has a very dark, rich, and ambery color. Let's see if I can do this on camera. Oh, it was right there. I've got a whole stash of L'Homme fragrances back here that are stacked upon each other. So, well, they're not 100% exact, but basically I'm looking at L'Homme L'Intense and L'Homme EDP. They look exact on camera probably, but when you hold them up to the light, they look a little bit different. Still pretty close. The Eau de Parfum, the new one here, is a richer, darker, and more ambery color. It's not going to show up on camera very well, but take my word for it. Not exactly the same, so, you know, we'll see what we're in for here. It does look very sharp, though. Has a nice look to it. Already came primed. Did you see that? I mean, you saw me unbox it. I'm not cheating you here. That's just how it came. Okay, so that's a curveball. It really is. I don't fully know what to make of that. So I will tell you right off the bat, it doesn't smell anything like L'Intense. This one's very powdery, it's got iris, so we'll set that one aside. Not anything like that. What's weird is it's giving me bits and pieces of like a L'Homme Le Parfum. Now, not fully to that extent, but just kind of that modernized smell. L'Homme Le Parfum. It has a little bit of that going on. It smells familiar. And I have to say, it doesn't really smell familiar to the OG. So again, I was hoping for that, didn't get that, kind of what I expected anyway, right? We're moving on from that DNA. But I don't know, I can't put my finger on it, right? There's just something there that it's reminding me of something else a little bit. Not in a bad way, but also not in a fantastic way, because it's not something brand new here. You know what it's kind of like really what they did with La Nuit de L'Homme Eau de Parfum, where it's more different than not to the original, but yet it still has a new modernized twist. And also when you look at La Nuit de L'Homme EDP, it also has somewhat a color like this. Not exact, but somewhat. So yeah, here's La Nuit de L'Homme Eau de Parfum. And when you look at the two together, obviously La Nuit has a gradient, but actually when you look at the very bottom, let me turn this around, shockingly close. Shockingly similar. So I don't know if they were kind of going for a similar thing. I'm not saying it smells like La Nuit de L'Homme EDP, it doesn't. But kind of going with a similar thing and just straying away from that original DNA, kind of piggybacking off an OG, La Nuit de L'Homme as well, and bringing a modern twist. I'm not sure. We'll take a look at the note breakdown though while we let this dry down. Up top, we have bitter orange and bergamot. In the heart, we have geranium and lavender. In the base, we have oak and beryl, vetiver, and cedarwood. So very woods heavy down below. Citrus up top, some aromatics. Nothing crazy here, really. Citrus, aromatics, herbs, and woods. Okay, really. Maybe not herbs, actually. But there's a geranium, maybe giving off kind of a green mintiness, ever so slightly, a little bit of freshness. You know, a little bit of that orange bergamot combo up top. Nothing too strong, nothing too bright or citrusy. Definitely doesn't throw it into the summer category. Right now it's kind of spring and fall leaning. Transitional seasons for me is kind of how it's coming off. And very, very woods heavy down below. So, you know, admittedly, I do like the smell. I can't sit here and say that, oh, it smells bad, you know, it doesn't smell good. Because this type of thing would be hard to mess up. But on the other hand, it's probably not gonna blow you away. Now this is really gonna kind of set this one in, right? People aren't gonna like this. But it almost has a little bit, should I even say it? Almost has a little bit of a Ralph's Club smell up top. I don't even know if I should have said that or not. That's going to set this one in stone. Again, up top, as it's drying down on my hand, more woods coming through, less of that sweetness, less of that kind of almost bubblegummy nature, but I'm telling you, man, and I'm wasting sprays here, but whatever. Up top in the air, Ralph's Club a little bit. You know, kind of Ralph's Club, YSL, that type of DNA, that trendy thing. It's got a little bit of that. Now, when you ask me, I'm a big fan of YSL across the board. I'm a big fan of Ralph's Club, and I'm excited for the flankers to come with that. So I like the smell of this. And I'm not saying one-to-one clones here or anything like that, but definitely some inspiration. And while this does not smell like the original L'Homme, it is more modern between the two. And I kind of think that's just what they were doing here. They wanted to release this as a flanker instead of starting up a new line. It's just easiest to call it the EDP, I guess. And look, I mean, I already covered this, but that's what happened with La Nuit de l'Homme Eau de Parfum. It really doesn't smell anything like La Nuit de l'Homme, but, you know, they stamped EDP on it and put it out. Also, this one did not do very well. If you look at the fate of this one, not very popular. I've featured it here and there because I've come around to it. I don't hate it. I actually kind of like it. But in comparison to some of the other flankers, not doing so hot. Even though it literally is La Nuit de l'Homme EDP, it didn't hold up. So I'm kind of curious to see how this one is going to do. Oh, not that one. We got too much L'Homme going on. Kind of curious to see how this one's going to do the new EDP. You know, now that it's dried down even further, I'm getting some of that oak smell. Believe it or not, it almost has like a kind of a rum smell, which is weird. But, you know, when you think of an oak barrel, you think of aging some sort of whiskey or rum or something inside of it. I don't know if that's what they're going for here. I don't know if they were going for a boozy accord, and maybe it's just my mind playing tricks on me. I didn't pick up on that in the beginning, but the further it dries down, the more interesting it gets to me because the richness of the woods are coming out. Kind of that oak smell is coming through. And I'm liking it a lot here, more than the beginning. And I also want to clarify one last time that the kind of Ralph's Club YSL opening has faded off, and that's pretty much non-existent now. What's funny is it's kind of like Calvin Klein Defy. I do have my bottle sitting right here. This one opens up with a YSL smell, and the dry down is all vetiver and woods and gets completely away from that. Kind of similar thing going on here. So that's really it. That's my first impressions on L'Homme Eau de Parfum. I like it a lot. I do. I think it smells great. The opening is going to throw some people off because it's going to smell basic and smell like something you've smelled a million times. But the dry down's interesting. It's a bit more warm, spicy, and rich. The dry down matches the coloration of the bottle, or I'm sorry, the fragrance itself rather, that deep amber color. It's matching that better. And admittedly, it's getting sexy. So I guess in a way, you've got L'Homme, EDT, the original, has your daytime work scent. Keep it classy, keep it cool. And maybe after work, you're hitting the bar, getting some drinks with some friends, maybe a significant other, and you want to just switch over to a nighttime scent. The EDP would be your you know, your wingman, your number one guy, right, to kind of help you out that night. It's kind of how it's coming across. More warm, spicy, and rich. The longer it sits, the more I like it. That's going to do it for me. L'Homme EDP. Going to follow up with a review here soon, in a month or so, but I like it. Let me know what you think if you've tried it yet down below, if you're excited to. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.